Hello, hello, hello. We are feeling better today, thank goodness. It is Monday, February 14. Oh, Valentine's Day, baby! I don't know what he is going to do. Oh my goodness. Alright, anyway, February 14, Valentine's Day, Monday. Baby, come back! Elon! Elon! Come back! There you go. Alright, it's a good dog. Yes, that is a good dog. We make a video together. Yes, make a video together. That's good too. Okay. So Paul went shopping and he is a bit nervous. He was waiting there by the door and then he went upstairs and I don't know what he might do there. He already got one shoe from each person to play with. So I have to always keep an eye on him. That's what I have to do. Yes, I have to watch my baby with eagle eyes because he is high energy to say the least. It's a bit much for big old mama who is used to a lazy dog, European Basset Hound. So those are lazy dogs. They're easy going. These here are not so easy going. They're total lovers. But they are high energy, trust me on this. So Staffordshire. So, yeah, he can chew on that. He can help Paul shred these cardboard boxes into pieces. Alright. That's okay now. Now he's busy. He can be busy with that. Just don't eat plastic stuff. Oh, yeah. Looks like it doesn't have plastic stuff on it. So high energy, to say the least. They're constantly looking for something to shred. Uh-oh, I see plastic. No, don't eat that stuff. No, don't eat that. Don't eat the plastic stuff. No. No, Elon, no. High energy, yes. High energy, yes. That's a high energy puppy, is that? Yes. You there has to be one person monitoring 24 hours a day. Trust me on that one. Trust me, okay? People who work, again, I'm gonna be saying this a lot in my videos. People who work cannot have a dog. You can't have any animal, okay? Maybe you can have an outdoor cat, an outdoor kitty who is content by herself, okay, all day long. But a dog is a child, like a human child. Same exact, like a human baby, human child, like a toddler. Yes, that's a good dog. Oh yes, that is a good dog. That is a good dog. That's a good dog. And you have to praise a lot. It's very important. Praise. Okay. Educate a dog, train a dog with praise and patience and infinite love. Okay. That is the only way. Okay. And you have to sleep with your dog in bed. Very important. I guess the vast majority of humans don't seem to understand that because they come from religion and stuff and totally false information, false indoctrination and all of that. So all of that indoctrination stuff has absolutely no validity because most of that stuff is speciesist, okay? The animals are equally sentient to us. So, as you can see, my baby, he wants to be warm in front of the heater. He has extremely short hair. Those pity type of dogs have the shortest hair. I mean, there's only one dog that has no hair, and that is, I think, the Mexican or some kind of, no, some kind of Chipotle dog. I think that was the name. Chipotle dog. I forgot now, but you can look that dog up on YouTube. You will see the dog. They look a little bit like Doberman Pinscher dogs, but more like, oh, I see a kitty down there. But sort of like a mix between Doberman Pinscher and Pakistani Mastiff, and they live in South America near the equator. Obviously, that's where they have to live. They have been bred that way. They have been cultivated that way by humans. They have been, selectively bred. And they have dark skin, obviously, at the equator. They have to have melatonin, dark skin that absorbs the sunbeams and make vitamin D out of that. Okay. And also the dark skin is the sun protection, natural sun protection. But they still shouldn't be exposed to bright sunlight all day long. They should have a place to go under a shade, like trees and a shed or something, and a soft, nice, clean bed. And they have to have someone at all times. Okay, this is very important that I keep on reminding people. Dogs are like children, and they will always be like children when they're adults too. Okay, they have to be with a companion at all times. Companion animal, companion human. Yes, there is my baby. He's feeling good now. He's feeling good in front of the heater. Yeah, that feels really good. All right. Now he feels good because I'm still here. Okay, I am waiting here with him. I'm not going shopping. We're not leaving him alone. That's very, very important. He doesn't like it that Paul is going somewhere. He can tell he's going somewhere. He's very, very intelligent, and he wanted to go with him. But, if one person leaves, obviously that's not near as terrifying or sad, as if a dog would be left alone in the house or apartment. And so that's very, 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 very important information. Never leave an animal alone, ever. Okay, and they have to have a companion being. I also feel sorry for the sheep herding dogs who are sometimes left with the sheep, but at least they have companion animals then to play with and to sit with. Very important to lean against another living being, to be there with them. Very important. And then there are Great Pyrenees dogs out there. They had the biofarmer has some of those, and he has one Great Pyrenees herding one large chicken house. So they have chicken houses out there that are on wheels, and they move them around so that the chickens can go out there and find grains and worms to eat, and they move that around so that there's a rotation system. And they leave, obviously these chicken houses are out there all the time, and so when the weather is bad, they can go into those big, very, very large chicken enclosures, but they're open, so they're like houses on wheels for the chickens, which is very nice. They lay eggs, they make nests in there and lay eggs. And there's one Great Pyrenees for each one of those rollable chicken houses, And I feel a little bit bad for those because I don't know if the chickens are enough company for those dogs. So each dog is assigned to a different chicken house, and they're kind of far apart from each other. The dogs don't even get to really hang out with each other. They're really trained for guarding each one of those chicken houses, and they're out there in wind and weather, but they have really thick coat, and in the winter time they get an enormous winter coat. So I guess maybe they can go into the chicken house too and lie down in there. I don't know. I hope they can. So I feel bad for them, but at least they have the chickens to hang out with. An animal has to have companion animals, okay? At least one companion animal. Very, very, very important for the mental sanity and physical health. Very, very, extremely important. This is extremely important health information, okay? For any being, for any animal, and any human, okay? Nobody should ever be locked away into a solitary confinement or be abandoned on an island by themselves without any other living being. Okay. That's very cruel. So it's very important information when you have a dog. In particular, dogs are extremely sociable animals. And now he's lying down, as I'm not sure you see. He has his head partly on my foot. So he's touching my leg. So he doesn't even want to be on the other couch right now. He wants to feel my leg. He wants to know I am here, okay, and that makes him safe. So I have no idea what he has been through. He's probably been traumatized in some way. He is a very advanced soul, so he's infinitely grateful to anyone who's kind to him. And we are protecting him the same way as we protect a newborn baby. So my dogs are my babies, okay? My dogs are my children. All beings are my children, all living beings. The horses too, I want to rescue every one of them. So we're going back to the other house tomorrow, and I told Donna, my friend Donna, that we were gonna go hiking on Valentine's Day, but Paul had so many things to do. DMV, he's going to the DMV, has to renew the van, insurance and all of that, and go shopping. So, and then we have deliveries coming almost all day, almost every day. And my socks are coming. We ordered those toe socks. Those are so practical, so nice. They feel so good. Fluffy toe socks, my favorite socks of all socks. Really fantastic. I have sweaty feet, so the toe socks, they absorb the sweat, and so with that they prevent my toes from rubbing against each other or causing any kind of sore or something. So that's very good, they're very comfortable. I love those. So they're supposed to be coming tomorrow, so I hope they come tomorrow before we leave, but that doesn't matter. They can't be eaten by bears. Bears are not interested in toe socks, but they are interested in oatmeal. They can smell that through all the packaging. So we have to always make sure that when we order food items that we will be here in time to pick it up and not be at the other house for another week and we don't know what's going on. So it's good to come back tomorrow, and I have to email Donna, and we're gonna go hiking together. So that's gonna be good. Maybe go to the beach because that's nicer down that one beach is very nice. There are not that many people out there. So the hiking trail, that was pretty stressful. There were way too many people now. For some odd reason, I guess there's a lot of people going to that really amazing nature, the bird sanctuary, wetland, forested area. It's absolutely gorgeous. Paul and I used to help the environmental stewardship group. I'm sure I have shortness of breath, which is kind of alarming. So I can't even finish one sentence before I have to grasp for air. So it's a little bit alarming. So, but because of that, I am switching the food that I'm eating for sure. I made myself a carob oat milk shake. Put chia seeds in, water, oats, apples, and carob chips. I blended that, and it tastes almost like Toblerone. It is true. It is, not as sweet, not as creamy, or not as greasy, particularly, but it tastes healthy, and it tastes gourmet. It still tastes very gourmet, and I very much enjoy it. And so that's what I'm gonna do every day. This is a healthy snack. This is good for me. And oatmeal for breakfast, always, no more animal products whatsoever. Not even Toblerone, no more chocolate, no more cheese for me. I'm completely done with all of that. And in time, in a month or two, this condition will get better. So I will have better breathing, deeper breathing, more steady breathing, without having to remind myself to breathe or force myself to breathe. I think all of this is also part of the heart condition, and it's also connected to anxiety for sure. I know that. So when the papa died on December 10, 2019, that was bad for me. That was very bad. So it was so horrible that I had to constantly remind myself to breathe, like the dolphin mother in Taiji, who watched her daughter being forcefully taken away from her, and she knew she would never see her again, and not knowing what's going to happen to her, not knowing how she might be exploited. She could not handle it. She went underwater and never came back up. There were people out there that have been monitoring the situation, environmentalists. And they have to be very careful with that cove, because those dolphin butchers, they don't shy away from anything. They're dangerous. They're dangerous psychopaths. Okay? So there have been environmentalists who have thrown themselves into the midst of the massacre to use themselves as living shields. Okay? Those are my absolute heroes. Okay? Hayden Panettiere, the actress, is one of them. Okay? She's done that. She's gone out there on her surfboard to protect the dolphins from being butchered. When she was still like a teenager at that time, she went out there with other animal rights activists. And obviously, they didn't hurt them because now that would have been bad for Japan, because that could have caused a war, and the Japanese know that. So the Japanese government warned them not to hurt a famous actress from the United States. And people were monitoring. There are always people monitoring. But, how can they help the dolphins if they're just monitoring? Greenpeace, for example, the best that they can ever comes out of it is they take some photos and they film. And then what? They still didn't save any whales. Okay? That was Sea Shepherd Conservation Society who went out there with their own lives, risking their own lives, to protect the whales and dolphins and all the cetaceans in the ocean from the whale butchers. So those are all my heroes. Those are very, very high angel and God level souls that are out there, that are protecting the animals. Or people like Sandy who use their bodies as living shields, also for the land animals and for farm animals. And I would do the same. I'm not as courageous as Sandy is, so I would have to have 10 guard robots with me in order to go into any of those exploitation places. But my hope is with the robots, and so once we have the robots, then I would feel a lot safer. The sun is coming out now. This is really nice. That's gorgeous. Wonderful. So maybe tomorrow we have good weather, and I want to film the albino horse, okay, with my short Chromebook. Paul has recovered another Chromebook I had already laid that into a shelf to be brought to the electronic waste management places. There are some places where they take these apart, because Kenny, our Great Dane, threw that computer. That's also a Chromebook. He threw that angrily on the floor because to make a statement, because I was spending way too much time on the computer, and Kenny wanted me to spend more time with him and do things together, cuddle and go out, and we were on the computer way too much. He was with us, of course, but he was bored and he wanted action, and so he kind of was mad at the computer, and he with this really large paw, big hand, he swiped that off the Tupper container and threw it angrily down, and it landed like open on the side, and then the LED lights on one side of the monitor kind of flickered, and they quit it in some places. So, and then at some point the computer did not come back on, so it had some problems. But now it was in the shelf for a couple of years. He just charged it up last night and turned it on, and it did turn on. So maybe it just needed to be. I think the mistake I had made probably was that I didn't charge it. I did not let it run down the battery and then charge it back up. So I had basically just been using it on the cord all the time, and maybe any kind of computer needs to run on battery and needs to run down to where the red warning comes on, and then you have to plug it back in and charge it all the way back up. I think that's what the computer needs. It needs this. The battery needs that, apparently. So I have to remember to do this, so that once in a while that I use this or the other one on battery all the way until the red warning comes on, and then plug it back in. So, but it feels really good. We got at least 10 hours, maybe 11 hours sleep last night, which was very nice. I checked on my baby 2 times to make sure that Paul has the blankie on him, and one time I had to put the blanket on him because it was kind of chilly last night. And then he sleeps with Paul in his bedroom on his bed, and he puts his head on Paul's legs, which is good for both of them, you know. And then I checked again in the morning to make sure he has the blankie on him, and I saw that he was in a different position and in a different place, but the blankie was on him, and I think Paul made sure to keep the blanket on him. So that's very good. We're both watching over him very, very carefully. Okay, he's our baby. Okay, he's our child, and we're infinitely grateful to him. Yes, he is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous God. What I always say, dog God, God dog. So same word. Dogs are gods. It's really nice outside right now. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So this is a nice day today. Valentine's Day. Okay, we made it nice. The dog, Paul, and me. In a non-sexual way. You know. Valentine's can also be a day of just companionship and love and gratitude, and that's wonderful. You know, it doesn't always have to be with the sexual connotation, and you know, all of you. A lot of people think that's the only way that intimacy or physical touch can happen. That makes me very sad. You know. A lot of people in the world seem to think that they seem to think that it's always sexual, you know, when there's some kind of physical love happening. But it's not. Okay, definitely not. Okay, being with a companion being, companion animal, companion human doesn't have to be sexual, as you can see here in our example. Okay, we're not sexual with each other, Paul the dog and I. Okay, we're totally not. There's no sexuality playing into it. And so I don't know about Paul, what he thinks, or what he still thinks this is a marriage, though. But he's he's withdrawn in the sexual way from me because this has been an ongoing disappointment and hurt for him that I didn't want to anymore, and that I'm looking at other guys. So this hurt has made him not want me in that way either. So there are a lot of men out there that would not take no for an answer. They would beat their women, they would rape their women, they would incarcerate them, and then it would be a gruesome way of coexistence. Okay, so this here is still a mutual togetherness, in a non-sexual way. He is mostly afraid of not having a companion person living with him. He's afraid of being all alone with dyslexia and almost has no hearing, and so that makes him feel lonely and nobody to talk to. That makes him feel very, I guess, more insecure or more abandoned. But now he has a dog. Okay, so that makes me feel really good. I mean, just in case something happens to me, he has a dog now, okay, to be his companion. That makes me feel very, very good. Whatever happens to me, okay, that makes me feel better. And we never know what the future holds. So I might get shot at some point, okay. So that is my predicament. Okay, I know this already. That's my energetic, that's my soul contract. Okay, and it's good. It's okay. There's a lot of people who hate me out there. Okay, and as an activist to make the world better, those people are always hated by the ones who don't want to change things in the world, who don't want to make an effort to make things better, who are afraid that the activists would stand in their ways of exploitation. Okay. The Basset Hound breeders, they don't even write back. I think most of them already know that I'm a bleeding heart animal rights activist, and that I will always say something, that I always look over their shoulders, that I always question them, I interrogate them. That's just what I do, so. And when I see someone else do that, I would never take offense. There was an animal rights lady one time in this area here, which was very surprising to me, because those are extremely rare, those people, particularly in rural United States. So we were out there with Kenny. Kenny wore the shock collar, and Paul always has that on quite snug, too snug for my personal view, and he says, yeah, the only 3 fingers has to fit underneath, and yeah, but I always have to I'm always struggling, always fighting with him, always, please don't put that electronic collar too tight. Yeah, but it needs to be snug so that the prongs are touching the skin, and that has these 2 prongs. And this one here, the new one, has a rubber coating over it that still conducts. This one has light, it has beep, it has vibration, and it has, for emergency, it has a momentary electric shock, and it has safety features that the other ones didn't have, so much more high-tech. And he only uses it in utmost emergency, like if he was about to jump over the fence to run after deer, then that's when he would press the shock and to prevent him from running after the deer. But he never had to use it yet, so he used the vibration. That works like a charm. So if he goes into dense brush, and there are some places where the fence on the other side has some kind of problems where he still has to fix the fence. Very important to fix the fence always. But with him, we don't even take the chance at all to leave him out there by himself or running around. We have to monitor him at all times. In the beginning, I had him on the long leash, on the retractable leash, and then he had him on a laundry line, which I didn't like, because that gets tangled up out there. And so I fought my way through to take that laundry line off, and now he only takes him out there with that electronic collar, and that works very well. So thank goodness. I'm so glad. But I highly recommend those that have vibration, and the vibration already works very well. So always use that first, Only in extreme emergency situations where where there's danger, where there are deer, that deer can kick a dog. There was a woman that I met who told me that a deer had kicked her chihuahua's leg and completely demolished the leg. Really horrific. So you can't just let your dog run after a deer. That's dangerous. Or the papa dog running after a bear, the short papa dog, fearless, short papa dog running fiercely after the bear at night, the bear running very fast, climbing over that fence. Oh my gosh. I was so scared for the papa dog. Papa dog was not scared at all. Not at all. He would do his rounds at night. For the papa, the fence was good. That was okay. Everything was clear. But for him, he could climb over the fence. He could jump over the fence even. He is so enormously strong and athletic. He chews through stuff. So we're not gonna let him make his rounds alone. So we have to always be there with our animals. Very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. I will keep on talking about this. So, and that is love, If you are there for your beings, you keep an eye on your being, child or animal, okay, at all times. If I had a child, my gosh, I would be an overprotective mother hen. I would not let my child go on the internet, okay. That's all I can say to this here. This is way too dangerous for children to be on the internet. So I would not allow this until they're 18 years old and legally then their own custodian. Okay, so I wouldn't even want to let them go on the internet then, but then legally they are on their own. But I would really train my children to watch out for all those dangers, Muslim men that groom children systematically into Sharia law, into joining them into ISIS and all of those things, and grooming them into sex slave operations, grooming them into thinking that there's a boyfriend for them or whatever. Very dangerous. And that they groom boys and girls equally much. Okay, they use them, they exploit them. It's horrible. Very dangerous. Okay, there's catfishers that can, when a child is very naive, the catfisher can groom the child into giving the person their bank account information, or to find that information from the parents or whatever. Very dangerous. And last but not least, the worst danger there is on the internet, children that are bullied into suicide. It happens all the time. I see it. I observe these things. It's heartbreaking. It's horrific. So no, I would not let my child on the internet. So I would, and children are smart, they can figure out how to dismantle the parental control features and all of that. So I would probably get my child a computer or something that cannot go on the internet, where that is totally disabled from going on the internet, or like a real old computer that doesn't work on the internet anymore, or something like that. So figure something like that out. But so far I was lucky. I didn't have to put my brain into that. That's like even more nerve-wracking and complicated, because the dog can't figure out how to use a computer and go on the internet and all of that. That's very practical, okay? So a child can not only climb through or over a fence or get into trouble or hurt himself, they can go on the internet, and that is absolutely horrifically dangerous. And people, they totally underestimate this situation with children on the internet. So now it's raining again, but that's okay. It's raining off and on. Yes, my babes. Yes, here are my toe socks. Yes, you are my gorgeous. I need to buy moon boots because they're more comfortable. They have a really squishy sole. So like these here, they're really comfortable. It's nice. Squishy sole, I like that when I'm at home. Oh yeah, and that brings me to my ideas. When I feel good, I think about making clothes and shoes and accessories. And I have so many ideas on amazing stuff, how to make amazing stuff. The problem is I don't have any resources and materials to make it with. I would love to go on one of those fabric fairs, with fashion designers together, with Madame Vivienne Westwood. I would love to go with her onto one of those fabric fairs and explore all the different high-tech new materials that are vegan, that are out there. Some of them have been made from recycled plastics that have been fished out of the ocean, that have been cleaned off the beaches. This is super, super stellar. And great materials out there. Or recycled plastics from different materials, or from recycled car tires. If I was somewhere near like a car dump place, or like an abandoned car lot or something where there's a pile of old car tires or truck tires, I would try to make something out of that. There's an architect who utilizes those to create homes that are completely storm resistant. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. He makes earthship houses out of those in the desert, and they work. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Michael, I forgot the last name now. Great architect. And I would love to make shoes out of old car tires. If there are people in India that have no money that will utilize something like this, like inner tubes to make sandals with, fantastic. There are some fantastic people that will utilize stuff like that, and stuff that works actually. So yeah, but it's going to be really, really difficult to cut the outer layer of a car tire, that really tough material. How do you, that's very difficult. I don't think I could do that. So you need to have specific tools for that. But yeah, in an emergency situation, like in the future, who knows what people might have to do. Here it is, 4444. Thank you, Blue God. The angels agree. Okay, those are the animal angels. The 4 stands for the animal angel. 4 legs. Okay. Land animal, angels, okay, that are out there in the Orion Nebula, watching over the different planets, making sure that everyone is safe, okay, and they give their infinite love. I know, I am wacky. So, what else did I? Yeah, I would, if I had someone who had some kind of a rubber melting machine or something, I would probably collect old abandoned car tires or truck tires, inner tube and outer layer, and probably would just throw that into some kind of plastic rendering machine and melt that and shred that and melt that, and maybe add some calcium carbonate into it or titanium dioxide to make the color brighter, lighter, and then make recycled rubber material out of it, and then you can make the most amazing stuff out of that you cannot even imagine. You can make amazing tough shoe outer layer material with profile for boots and shoes, and then create some kind of foamier material, make a foam type of material out of that as well for the inside of the sole. And then I would create soles that have a shape that is convex on both sides. I talked about this also in the past. A convex sole shape that is very good and very healthy for our entire posture, for our feet. Okay, very good to have this convex shape. The MBT shoes and the Skechers come a little bit closer to this, but that is not near as perfected as having a complete convex sole like this, and convex sole on the bottom as well. You basically roll, and you are also arch protected, your foot arch is supported, and the bottom of your feet, and there is no pressure point or anything that could cause, if you walk around a lot or stand a lot, that could cause any kind of callus buildup or any kind of infection or any kind of bunion or blister or something like this, so that the foot is completely cushioned, and you walk on clouds. And it even has this really thick profile that also goes around, all the way around in an arch. And so that those are my shoe ideas, and the ideas are endless for fashion in this regard. Okay, we can make unbelievable shoes and boots out of that. Anything from sandals, from slipper shoes, flip-flop type of shoes, to solid shoes, to boot type of shoes, to calf high boot shoes, and any kind of boot you can possibly imagine for any kind of occasion, with many different type of materials. So I have all of these ideas, and I am just so excited about this. I just don't know how to get started with that. I would need someone who already has some kind of factory somewhere where they are processing this type of material, and maybe be able to create like casts and molds for those kind of forms, sole forms for shoes. And then I don't know, this is so amazing. And then you have to, that has to be made where that has holes on the side rim, and where a thick rubber material can be stitched on top of that for the foot to have a shoe to go into and to be protected. So amazing stuff that can be made. Those shoes don't exist yet. I hope that we can make this happen at some point. That would be really, really amazing. Because shoes, our feet carry us, shoes are really the most important garment to wear. Very, very important accessory are the shoes, because we walk on all kinds of stuff. We don't want to step on glass. We don't want to step on spikes and stuff, and thorns and wasps. So we have to have shoes, and or going hiking. We don't want to step on rocks, sharp rocks. We want to have really, really good protection for our feet, who have to carry that heavy weight every single day. And then also making shoes for dogs, for the desert. We took Samantha when we left LA with our former dog Samantha. We went to Joshua Tree, and promptly she stepped on a cactus. We didn't pay attention good enough, and poor Samantha had cactus spikes in her foot, a whole lot of those, and she was so patient, and we pulled each one of those spikes out individually. Oh, that was painful to watch. Poor Samantha, what she had to go through. But we got them all out, and we were very careful then where we walked. So it's very dangerous in the desert for dogs. They can step on something very thorny. There's a lot of very thorny stuff growing out there. Very, very like thorny, like sea urchins, but in plant form. Okay, very, very dangerous cacti that are growing out there in the desert. So once in the high desert, it's a little bit better. I'm talking about the low desert. We left LA, went to Joshua Tree. That's Southern California. That is the low desert, and that's next to Death Valley, even more south, and there's a bunch of really dangerous stuff growing there, so we have to pay attention. And I would like to make shoes for dogs for that purpose in the future, so that would be really awesome to have really easy to put on boots for dogs, so that they can go out there hiking in the desert and their feet are protected. Okay, my video is long already. I am signing out. Peace and love.